Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the SWG Show, where we discuss everything related to your strength, wellness, and growth. Today, I want to talk about something that is extremely near and dear to my heart, something that changed my life literally in a very short period of time, and I like to call it my $2 miracle. So, it started, I think, back early 2018. I had been out of the world of affordable housing and housing subsidies for the homeless for about 6 months at the time, and I had just gotten back into affordable housing. And I was invited to a lunch with a lunch meeting with a business partner of the company I was working at. And this gentleman, I remember he took us to a kosher restaurant / deli in the San Fernando Valley. And he was a Jewish gentleman, and he was a property owner and had been working with housing subsidy programs and housing the homeless in his portfolio of multifamily units in LA for many years. His business was successful. He had a large portfolio and had a lot of success renting just to the open market, normal renters. But he always had units or a portion of his portfolio that was dedicated to helping house folks who were receiving some sort of housing assistance and who needed it. So I asked him, quite honestly, so what compelled you to participate in programs that are helping the homeless? When you clearly don't need to, you're having a lot of success with just renting to the open market. And he told me an amazing story that just really touched me. And the story was that he went over how in his younger years he was all about making money, being successful, having flashy cars, the party lifestyle that a lot of people enjoy here in LA. And at a certain point, he, I don't remember why, but at a certain point he went to Hebrew school as an adult, and he was posed the question by a rabbi, and that question was, what do you think is the better thing to do? To give someone in need $100 or to give 100 people $1? And the right answer that the rabbi had was to give 100 people $1. And initially I thought, well, sure, yeah, I get the moral there. You're helping 100 people versus just one person. And the thing that I love so much about this moral from the rabbi was that, yeah, that is true. You are helping 100 people versus one. However, the bigger benefit is more of a selfish one in a good way, because the giving of $1 to 100 people instilled a practice, a rule, if you will, inside yourself. Just like training a muscle, that practice of giving 100 times versus just one time is what it was all about. It was about the greater impact and change that you're putting into yourself, about building that muscle of giving, retraining that natural inkling, that natural instinct that a lot of us have to ignore when somebody is reaching out for help. And the implications from that practice are what I attribute to becoming the catalyst for my personal growth and success in the last 3 years in such a rapid rate. Because at the time, I was still new to the company. I had been doing a lot of freelance work, consulting, and I was really trying to save up a lot of money at the time. So I was being very frugal with every single penny. And so he went on to say, ever since then, whenever anybody would ask him for a handout or money or a donation, whatever it was. If somebody was begging on the street corner and asked him for financial assistance, he would always at least give $1. And he said, anybody can give $1. Even if you're broke, you can still give $1. And what that does is it builds that muscle of, rather than being averted from somebody asking you for something, you actually go head on to it, because now you're prepared and you have a mission to help 100 people. But of course, it won't stop at 100. So I left that lunch really, really moved by that story, because I realized, yeah, sure, I'm being frugal at this point in my life, but I can afford $1. So what I started doing, I immediately made sure that I broke a $5 bill and I carried dollars in my pocket. And that's why I called it my $2 rule, because I made sure that at all times I at least had $2 in my pocket ready to give. Now, at this time, my office was in the heart of downtown LA, right on 7th and Wilshire. And that is an extremely busy part of LA. There are a lot of folks who are soliciting on the corners in many different ways. I'm not just talking about somebody who is experiencing homelessness and needs a handout, but I'm talking about solicitation from all kinds of people who are vendors, people selling products. A lot of folks at our local grocery where everybody would go to get lunch, there's a lot of solicitors for different charities too. So a couple amazing things, and this is why I call it the miracle. A couple amazing things started to happen when I was consciously looking to give out these $2. I became active in looking and identifying. Now, I created some rules. The rule was, if you ask me in any form for help, I will give you $1. And that could have come in either they verbally asked me or they're holding a sign. So that was the rule, because obviously I can't help every single person on the street. But if somebody approached me, I would give them $1. Well, it's that mentality grew and started to expand into, if you stop me to solicit me for a donation or to sign whatever petition you had or just to hear your sales pitch, I would give you that moment. That was my other form of giving $1. I would stop and entertain. And that grew and grew and grew into more things, because I started to realize that there were a lot of business opportunities that I was ignoring because I didn't either I didn't immediately see a benefit, so I just wanted to push it off, ignore it, or I just was doing that natural knee-jerk reaction of, what are you trying to sell me? Leave me alone, type of thing. Now, you still have to be cautious of that, but my mind was changed about opening up your mind to opportunities, and I think that is probably the biggest impact that the $2 miracle has had on me, is having an open mind to see opportunities. So I kept on doing it, and I loved doing it while it was with a group of people, because I was hoping that they would see me stop while we were walking down the street to give, and I was hoping that that would impart something in them, and I would then share with them this story exactly of how the $2 miracle came about. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with folks who really were moved also by the story, and I hope have continued it to this day. And nowadays I have a lot of success in many different ways, and I attribute it to the growth that I went through in a very short period of time, because of the mindset that I changed and the story that rabbi gave to that gentleman and that he imparted to me. So try it out. Keep $2 in your pocket, and if next time you see somebody asking for help, just say yes. If they're asking for your time, just give it to them. I really hope this was helpful for you, my friends. If you like this, please drop me a like. Follow us on YouTube for more videos and interviews with amazing folks. Until next time, my friends, take care.